Hi, good morning. Today's business case study is about a company that started with food delivery process, but today it is very well known for the integrations that it has done to make sure that the food is delivered to your doorstep in the fastest time possible. And that is why, because of the innovations that it has done, it has become a unicorn startup. Unicorn startups, specifically in India, are those who have a valuation of $1 billion. And this company is something that we have all used the services of. Even during the pandemic, this was one of those companies whose services we have used to stay connected to our loved ones. The company that we are going to talk about today is Swiggy, and how Swiggy has revamped the entire food delivery industry here in India. So let's get into it. Swiggy was started way back in 2014. And when it started way back in 2014, many people thought that it was a late entrant in an overcrowded food delivery marketplace, which was already having big players like Zomato, Tiny All, Panda, etc. So many people actually did not pay much attention to Swiggy. And today, if you look at Swiggy, coming to a completion of 7 years of existence, has grown into a unicorn startup of having more than 1 billion valuation. Now, how did this happen? How did the transformation happen? How was Swiggy different from other players which were already existing in the market? What was the story behind Tiny Owl, which was a big company way back then, and people expected a lot from Tiny Owl? And also, we will talk about the three lessons that we can learn as a small business owner or as a business owner from this specific case study. Swiggy has three founders, Sriharsha Majeti, Nandan Reddy, and Rahul Jamini. Sriharsha and then Nandan were classmates in BITS Pilani. And that is where they started ideating about doing a startup way back in 2013. They were looking at the growing landscape of e-commerce here in India, and they thought one of the biggest ideas or one of the booming sectors would be to be able to connect different courier services across the country to make sure that small business owners' products were being delivered to every nook and corner of India. But that ideation did not go far. When they understood that there was a bigger scope in doing this kind of service for food, though there were market leaders like Zomato, Food Panda, etc., way back then, Swiggy's founders still thought there was a gap in the market and they could utilize this gap to create a standout product. And that is how Swiggy was born. Now, if you specifically look at Swiggy, um, though Zomato is supposed to be the market leader, Zomato way back in 2014 actually decided to stop expanding its delivery services. So if you have been in India during that period of time, or if you have ordered food from any restaurants, you specifically know that Zomato, when it started, was just a review website or a review app. So if you wanted to check out good restaurants that you could visit probably for lunch or dinner, or for one specialty dish like biryani, then you would go to Zomato, read the different reviews that they had, because this was a platform that not just had reviews, but it had images, it had a menu of the restaurant. So it had multiple features which was not available way back then. So Zomato was mostly used as a review kind of website or an app, but they did not actually have any food service when they started. After a few years, they launched the food service, a food delivery service, but the food delivery service was not something that they were controlling in house. They did not have a logistics team, they did not have any delivery partners that they specifically employed, but they were depending more on restaurants to deliver the food delivery orders that they were getting on the app. So Zomato was just like a marketplace wherein they had all these restaurants listed, and you as an end customer would go to that app and then check for the different reviews of the restaurant, if the restaurant was well known for one specific product, and then you would order directly from Zomato. But the food delivery was not part of Zomato's services. The food delivery was supposed to be done either by the restaurant person, or the restaurant person could hire a third party vendor to do the delivery service. So way back in 2014, if you remember, there was no specific guarantee that though you ordered from the restaurant, that food will be delivered to you until and unless you stepped out of the house, went to the restaurant and bought it for yourself. Because way back in 2014, the way to place an order with the restaurant was either you directly call the restaurant and you tell them, you know what, I want this specific food to be delivered to my home, or you would just place an order on Zomato. But way back then, there was no upfront payment as well. So that way, there was no guarantee that amount was being paid. So the restaurant would prioritize your order and then send it. Also, if you remember, first of all, there was no guarantee that you would get your food. Secondly, even if the food came to your house, was delivered to your house, there was no guarantee that it was delivered in a specific span of time. It depended completely on the restaurant. If they were too full on that day, their priority would always be their customer who is at their restaurant in that particular time or at that particular day, and they would only deliver the orders at the end of their working day. So probably if you have ordered for lunch, there was all chances that you would have got the delivery only post 3 o'clock, which is past lunchtime here in India. So these were the different issues that many people were facing, and that is what Swiggy was able to actually correct the situation. So the best part about Swiggy was Swiggy understood way back when they started in 2014 that they need to build a very good logistics company, because they understood that, see, at the end of the day, if you look at Swiggy or Zomato, theirs is just a service company. They are not, they don't have a restaurant setup. They are not creating any menus. They are not also cooking. They are just a service kind of business wherein the food is taken from one place and then delivered to the second place, right? So it is all about the last mile of operations that these people are taking care of. But even then, Zomato was not doing that kind of service, and then Swiggy came into picture and they wanted to create a logistics company so they could do this last mile of service, so that the food was picked on time from the restaurant and would be delivered to you as the end customer. Now, specifically, if you look at the other piece, which was Zomato was mostly working as a marketplace wherein they would list all of these restaurants and then they would connect you as an end customer to the restaurant. So it was more about sharing information regarding the restaurants. It was more of a marketplace kind of business model, just like Amazon has at this point of time. But Swiggy was doing something different because they had their own logistics, they had their own delivery people that they employed. They were also able to do much more than just list the restaurants. They would also charge within 1 year. They were able to charge for the deliveries that they were doing to the customer, and the customer was willing to pay that amount. So that way, Swiggy also started making money, and rather than just being a marketplace, they were also able to provide services. Now, if you specifically look at and this was what made them stand apart in this very crowded market. Now, what happened with this was they were able to get on-time delivery. They were able to get consistent, guaranteed deliveries to the customer. Today, if I place an order for chicken for my dog, I know that within 1 hour that chicken will be delivered. So according to that, I can plan my day. Apart from that, I can also plan my lunch because I know that if I order something and the app says the app the Swiggy app says that it would take 50 minutes for delivery, then I know that within 50 minutes that lunch would be delivered to my doorstep. So that is the kind of confidence that people have had in Swiggy at this point of time. Now, if you look at Swiggy, everything was not rosy for Swiggy as well. So when they started with 30 orders per day. Today, it goes to millions of dollars per day that they kind of process. But when the year of 2016 came, they had their company's losses jumped 65 times for of that specific year. 65 times the losses jumped in 2016. And that was because not that Swiggy was wasting a lot of money doing multiple things, but Swiggy was investing all of the money that they were getting through funding, specifically in logistics and hiring a big delivery team. Because at the end of the day, that is the USP of Swiggy. Swiggy is not just a marketplace just like Zomato, but they also do a delivery service, which is their end product. So because of the huge investments that they have done, their losses jumped up 65 times a year. And why is this important? We'll talk about that at the end of this video. Now, coming back to Swiggy, another aspect of Swiggy is it started working on making sure that those timelines could be managed. So, for example, like I said, today in Swiggy's app, if I order lunch, I know that within the span of time that they have mentioned, or before that time, only that particular food will be delivered to my doorstep. But previously, there was no guarantee like that. But to make sure that that is possible, because that is not a factor that Swiggy can control. Why? Because of the huge traffic, because of the road conditions, because of the weather conditions. There could be multiple factors, right? So to control that, Swiggy has also been working with Google Maps API to build a specific infrastructure so that their delivery partners get the fastest route between the restaurant and the customer, and the food parcel can be delivered on time. Again, this is something of a mindset of innovation that the company has, because of which it has become market leader number one at this point of time. They are a profitable company. Zomato is still struggling to create profits at this point of time. Now, if you look at the scope of Swiggy and how many delivery partners they have employed 1.25 lakh delivery partners at this point of time. Apart from that, they have also launched a new app just to help their delivery partners. So just hiring people is not important. You have to make sure that they stay motivated. You have to make sure that they feel good enough to stay connected with your company, because the biggest crunch in this specific market, in any delivery market, it is not just food delivery, but it is also about courier services or products and services delivery, is the turnover or the attrition rate of the people. So people generally jump a lot of companies in this specific space. So Swiggy wanted to make sure that its delivery partners, that is its employees of 1.25 lakhs, stay with it for a long time. And that is where they have also launched a new app with specific features. Like, one of the things is high demand areas that they have launched. So if you are a delivery partner, you would be paid depending on the number of deliveries that you make in any specific day, right? So to make sure that the delivery partner can earn much more money, what they have done is they have scoped out high demand areas, and the delivery partner, depending on looking at the app, they could decide if today they want to operate in that high demand area, or sometimes they might decide that they want to operate in a low demand area, depending on whether they want to make more money on that specific day, or whether they have other obligations. So that was one of the features that they have launched for their specific delivery partner employees. Second feature that they have launched is, of course, earnings on the home page. So these people, though they earn on a daily basis, most of the times they are paid a salary at the end of the month. But as a delivery partner, you might want to know how much have I earned for this particular month, because it is not fixed. It depends on how many deliveries these people have made. So earnings are put there right out on the home page. But what are the features that they have launched for end customers like you and me? Of course, Swiggy Genie is something that I have used myself multiple number of times to make sure that my loved ones get the food packages that I want to send them. Any other products, it could be medicines, it could be data cards that I want to send out. And these are some of the services through which we were able to stay connected with our loved ones through the pandemic. Apart from that, Swiggy Instamart is an ever growing service as well of Swiggy. So what is Swiggy Instamart? They have actually created small warehouse kind of offices across the city wherein commodities like groceries are stored, and if you order from Swiggy, rather than getting probably a slot from Big Basket after 24 hours, or even some of the other commercial delivery services, they are delivering stuff within 1 hour. Swiggy is promising that if you want something, they can instantly deliver within 15 to 20 minutes. That is possible because of the different warehouses that they have created across the city, using which they are storing products like cereals, they are storing products like daily usage products like groceries. It could be pulses, etc., which will not go bad. And once the order comes, they are able to immediately fulfill on the promise that they have made, that the delivery would be within 15 to 20 minutes. Now let us look at their one of the competitors, which started before Swiggy did. They competed with Swiggy for a bit, but then lost even with all of the funding that they got, which is Tiny Owl. Tiny Owl was created by inexperienced young people who did not have a depth of knowledge regarding how businesses work or how startups work. Whereas when you compare those founders with Swiggy founders, all the three founders have work experience. They are not fresh from college, though they have a very good degree from BITS Pilani. They have worked through multiple businesses. They understand how the business landscape works, and that is why they are able to create a good enough marketing strategy for their own business. Whereas for Tiny Owl, it was created by young, inexperienced people who did not understand how business world works, how to take care of their company. The second point was, in Tiny Owl, there were no specific metrics that they were actually focusing towards. So in any business, you definitely need to know your metrics, and you need to focus on those to make sure that you are always achieving your targets. In specific Swiggy's case, you can see their targets have always been timely delivery and consistent timely delivery. It is just not the experience that you get once when you order from Swiggy, but every time you order from Swiggy, within that specified time which is mentioned on the app, you should get your parcel, and that is what Swiggy's founders have been working towards. Of course, the third point is, though Tiny Owl got a lot of investment way back in 2014-2015, there was this boom of different investors who were trying to invest into customer-oriented businesses. And Swiggy was also one of those companies which got investment. And Tiny Owl was the other one which also got investments. But though they got a lot of money investments from different venture capitalists, they were not able to understand how to use that money. They did not scale up, they did not automate, they have not used that specific money in their business, and all of the money went out the door. And that is why they had to wrap up their business as well. Now, what are the top 3 things that we can learn as business owners from this specific case study? Number 1 is, in today's world, you see many people put up profiles on Facebook and Instagram. These are young people. These people, this generation could be 13 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, 19 years old. They write in their profile that they are founders or CEOs of a specific company. See, creating a company is the easiest thing to do, but running the company successfully, making it a unicorn, is the most difficult thing to do. So before you venture into any entrepreneurship, I know there have been many gurus who say that you need to start early. the earlier you start, the better. But my suggestion is, don't start early. Get experience, work in a company, get as much experience as you can, specifically in a chosen field, and then go out there and start your own venture capital. For example, me, I started my digital marketing agency after having 8 years of experience in IT. So I understood how to talk to a customer. I trained myself regarding how to use systems, and that is why I am able to run my digital marketing agency successfully today. So get experience is the number one thing that we need to learn from Swiggy. Number two is automation is key. No matter what kind of business you are trying to do, try to get your activities automated. The quicker you can automate redundant activities, the more that you can focus on the next steps or the different strategies to make sure that your company is successful. Most of us small business owners, we don't work with systems. We try to do everything manually by ourselves, which is a biggest problem, that is one of the reasons that we cannot scale. Always make sure that you are trying to educate yourself regarding what are the systems that you could implement in your business to automate some redundant tasks. For example, invoicing could be automated so that every month that particular invoice goes to your customer if you are running a business wherein there is a monthly invoice that happens. Apart from that, your inventory, your bookkeeping, everything can be automated. You just need to figure out what are the systems which are relevant for you. The third point that you can learn is keep evolving. Don't just stagnate. Most of the businesses that you have seen, even Swiggy, they have launched Swiggy Genie, they have launched Swiggy Instamart because they kept evolving, and depending on the market conditions, depending on the market demand, they have launched new services by which they are becoming much more profitable each day. For us, we generally as a small business owner don't evolve. We get stuck into one place, and then we are so busy with the current day-to-day things that we have to do, that we don't even look at what is happening in the market, what other services I can launch. So again, this ties back into point number two. If you can automate the redundant tasks in your business, then you will have more time to focus on other important things like what else can you do in your business. I hope this content you found interesting. This is SIRISHA Varma, founder chief strategist at Branding by Pixels, a business strategy design and digital marketing company coming live to you from India. I record videos 3 times a week: Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesday, I talk about a digital marketing topic. This week, I spoke about the top 20 ideas, business ideas that you could start for 2022 with zero investment and minimal skills. If you have not checked out that video, please do check that out as well. Apart from that, on Thursday, I generally talk about a business case study. On Saturday, I do a business book review. Last week, I have reviewed this amazing book, As a Man Thinketh. If you can change your thoughts, you can change your life, is what that book talks about. Please do check out that video as well. If you think this content is interesting, please do subscribe to my channel and share it with people in your network. If you like the content, then smash that like button. I'll see you again this Saturday with a business book review video. Please do take care. Bye-bye.